What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into today's Lakers-Nuggets game. I did want to get baseball out. I intended on getting it out yesterday, and I do intend on getting it out today because I wasn't able to yesterday. Just ran into a lot of things. So anyway, we have a Western and Eastern Conference Finals coming up, and we've been off the mark. We actually started off white hot, missing almost no games, and then missed a lot of the last ones that came up in the last couple days. So now it's time to bounce back, as Justin Sudoka, who's always very insightful, brought to my attention. And another thing he brought to my attention, and this is something that it's not lost on me, and it's also something others have brought to my attention, is just looking at what we have presented to us. So in the NFL season all year long, I loved Niners. Then with the DeMar thing started, like in the Bills and all these things. And sure enough, what did they do? They just gave us the Chiefs. They're pretty obvious in our face versus the MVP Eagles. They had the first, two black quarterbacks narrative and a few other things, but once it kind of came upon us, a lot of us, I felt kind of foolish, like sleeping on the fact that they were obviously repeating a dynasty, starting a dynasty. So, not to get too off tangent, Lakers Nuggets. Here we have an opportunity for something that I don't think is going to present itself again. I guess, sure, like next year, maybe when Bronny debuts, they could do it, but I do think the Lakers aren't going to get these type of runs often. Again, I did not even have them making the playoffs this year. I'll be the first to admit I thought they were going to miss it until Bronny made the league. I understand the Lakers are a draw. Now, again, we have a complete repeat of 2020, and are they going to completely repeat history? With Joker, again, I saw draws with him versus Embiid. As far as him versus the Celtics, I don't see. The only thing that and again, I think this would be overthinking it, the Nuggets versus the Celtics would interestingly be, I believe, the team with the absolute least finals rings. They've never even been there, versus the team with the absolute most. So as far as historically, that's interesting. But of course, what's just as interesting is the two teams that are tied. I think it is, or one apart, Lakers, Celtics. So as far as the series, I just don't see them going this far to give us Lakers Heat again and leave Tatum out in the cold, or Nuggets Celtics and not give us that Lakers Celtics. So again, nothing has really, I brought this up in my last video. It just seems to me there's almost nothing preventing that Lakers Celtics. But anyway, we can go into the Celtics Heat because I am firm on my color theory outside of the XFL, which again I'm not even sure if they count. As far as last year, I went by the four major sports, NHL, MLB, and then with college, I take them with a grain of salt, but they happen to fit as well. But yeah, for the color theory, the Heat would obviously be the only team left. People have brought to my attention that the Nuggets do fit the scheme because they are predominantly red and white, but I would even call that a stretch. They're powder blue, white, red, yellow. They fit the scheme about as much as the Suns. So yeah, I mean maybe, but not talking about the color again. Let's talk about what's just in our face. Lakers, Nuggets. And the Lakers, they're positioned as underdogs, but they're not really talking about that like they are underdogs. I think what's going to happen is, I think in game one here, the Nuggets are going to win. I know it sounds kind of, boring. I know they're favorites, but I think they need to remind people the Lakers aren't just going to cruise to the finals. There's going to be, whether it's Anthony Davis getting roughed up by Joker and they need to find a better game plan, whether it's, James going nuts and not the role players. The fact that they're in Denver, yeah, more people might be on Denver. The Lakers just did it in Golden State. I don't think they're going to repeat it. I think they're going to show Denver is a force to be reckoned with at home. So I love Denver tonight to cover. Even if you're like an alternate spread kind of person, and minus 12, minus 13 for really good odds, I like that a lot too. But yeah, I absolutely think Denver's going to win this game. I think the story is going to be the Lakers haven't been up against a team like Denver. This is a different Denver than 2020. I would bet money that during the game at some point, whether it's the TNT or the ESPN guys or one of the announcers, they're going to say, this isn't the same 2020 Nuggets team that the Lakers beat. They're going to let us know that, so people are like, oh, okay, this is a much better Nuggets team. They have a chance. So that's going to be the story. This isn't the same Nuggets team, and it's not the same Lakers team. But yeah, I absolutely love the Nuggets here for the cover, and I think they go up in the series 1-0. That's how they're positioning the Lakers. They're positioning the most stacked super team in the history of the game, arguably, as an underdog, which is pretty funny. But that's what they're doing, and that's fine. I like the Nuggets for the cover. And again, I just think overall, to me, it just seems like the only thing that makes sense is lining up Jason Tatum so he can finally get his accolades. They're pushing him, again, they can't just push Luka and the big men. They have to push a flashy player. They got SGA. Ja's not in their good graces. And in the East, they don't have a lot of guys. Why do you think suddenly they're all behind Jimmy Buckets, who, by the way, we'll make some money doing some props with him. But yeah, so knowing what we do, which not knowing, but in my opinion, that I believe the Nuggets are going to win this game handedly. As far as props, I would say Anthony Davis, I would take unders. I think they're going to really have him struggle. So that also means other guys, maybe like Reeves, might have a good game. And I think Joker's probably going to go over on essentially all of his numbers. I think they really want him to just look like a superhuman in Game 1 at home against the Lakers. Whether that's like a 40-point triple-double, whatever it is, 5 3-pointers. I just think he's going to really show people. Don't forget, there's still that argument he should have won MVP over Embiid. So they are talking about that. Interestingly enough, they're talking about my Doc narrative a lot. It's just I was on the opposite side. They're essentially saying, all right, is it time to fire him or get rid of Harden? I'm a long-term guy. I have a really good feeling they're going to keep Doc, maybe trade Harden for Jimmy or one of these guys they're talking about, and maybe Cat, I don't know, something like that, and actually win. Who knows? Maybe they'll go out and get Ja and try and recreate AI. And because AI was known for getting in trouble off the court, and do something, and next year do it. But anyway, sticking to this year, yeah, Nuggets I like the cover. I think Joker looks like a superhuman, and I'm liking the role players for the Lakers. I'm liking Reeves and Lonnie because of the fact that I think Davis not get locked down, but I think they're really going to show Joker can play defense, and Joker is, it makes it where you have to hustle up and down the court, which makes it harder to get into transition. So I think we're going to see Davis struggle here in Game 1. Maybe he goes down early with an injury. I could totally see that as well. They kind of planted the seeds how soft he was. I mean, they've always planted those seeds, but, that concussion, whether he got it or not, really confirmed it. So you're going up against a physical team in Denver here, and again, I think they're going to really have the guy who may have been snubbed for MVP look incredibly well. So yeah, hopefully we get back on our winning streak. Just because I like the Nuggets for the cover here, doesn't mean I'm saying Lakers aren't going to win the series. Again, I just doubt it's going to be a sweep, and I doubt the Lakers are going to win this game. And I think there's going to be enough of the public behind the Lakers, just because you're getting plus 200, and it's the Lakers. They've been doing well, so there's not really a reason I feel like the public would not be behind them. So yeah, I think we do well, and I'll be going into the Heat Celtics, and I think I think right now it's pretty darn clear what they're doing with the finals. Essentially a complete repeat of the bubble, just with a more interesting team from the East. So take care and happy earnings.